Hello again, Internet. I'm pleased to report that I am feeling better today than I was yesterday. This is partly down to having taken the day off mentally and emotionally. Part of taking the day off meant refusing offers from friends to come in and make my lunch, which is what I've been depending on all week, and instead choosing to go back to sleep after my morning PA hour and getting an extra few hours of sleep. Even though I got what you could call a full night's sleep last night, I still needed the extra sleep today because the cumulative exhaustion was so huge. And I did feel a bit better after that sleep. Now, I've kind of gone back to being sweaty and headachy after I did my physio exercises, which are, believe me, pretty minimal, but they're still really exhausting. I was thinking about this business of friends coming to help because I've had messages from friends and family really concerned about me and wanting to do more to help and trying to figure out ways to help more. And the truth is that they can't. They already help in the ways that I need friends and family to help. Someone suggested, for example, that I have somebody stay with me for a little while. I live in a really small house, and quiet time, completely on my own, is one of the things that I need for mental health. No matter how much I love the person, this is not a house where you can pretend that you're on your own if there's somebody else in the house. It's just too small. And that would put me under a certain amount of pressure and awareness of the other person and what they need. But also because one of the really horrible truths about being a spoonie, having chronic illness that impacts on your energy levels, is that just being in a friend's company takes spoons, you know? And it's because you want to share things with them, you want to know how the other person is, you know, that takes energy, and it takes mental energy, it takes emotional energy, it takes physical energy to speak. So the truth is that it's really difficult for the friends and family, and yet there's this huge expectation, particularly from the very health services that are supposed to provide us with support, paid for by the taxpayer. Their first call is always to friends and family. You know, have you not got friends and family who can help? And I talked about this the other day. Do I ask my friend with cognitive epilepsy? Yes, he's come and made lunch for me, but I had to give him very specific step-by-step instructions. You know, do I ask my friend with autism and dyspraxia, who is already helping by bringing my dog for a walk every day? You know, friends and family give care and support continuously, but there are certain kinds of support where you really need a professional. It's much the same with the difference between talking to a friend about emotional states or issues in your thinking and, you know, actually getting to see a therapist. It's widely recognised that the role of a professional therapist is important and that it's the professionalism of the relationship that makes it work. And the same is true about personal assistants. Even though I have in the past and at present employed a number of my friends as personal assistants to varying degrees of success, it's important that I can pay them. It's important that there is a set time that is work time and that there's other time that's friend time. And it doesn't work with everybody precisely because with some people and in some relationships, that distinction gets too blurred and then it becomes too difficult and it changes the nature of your relationship with them to be so dependent upon them for some very basic needs. You know, the only PA that I feel comfortable doing personal washing with is my old friend. You know, I would not feel so comfortable with the other PAs who are being employed to do work for me. Um, but, you know, with my friend slash PA, we have a great laugh every time I'm lying there naked while she washes my hair. It's one of our kind of fun chatting times. The whole relationship between a leader and a PA is a really complex one, and this is recognised by anybody who has experience of PA service. And I think it's also recognised by people who end up having a family member or a lover as a carer, or being paid as a carer for a family member. It's not an easy relationship. And this is where state services really have to step in, and they absolutely have failed to do so in my situation. Um, I haven't heard any response from Joanna McMorrow, who was forwarded the email that I sent to my local service manager the other day saying that I'm just not coping and that I can't last 2 weeks until a review. It's, of course, the weekend now, so nothing's going to happen for 72 hours or thereabouts. We'll see how I am on Monday, whether I'll have more or less spoons, whether I'll be able to start making phone calls to my therapist, to my physio, all those other things I need to do just for the recovery management, just the medical side of this, let alone all of this head-wrecking stuff about my day-to-day living needs. The other thing over this weekend is that I have to vote. I have been sent my postal ballot. So to all local and European election candidates out there, there'll be no point knocking on my door from next week on because I'll already have made my decision. So, you know, if you're involved in a political campaign, have a think about that because people with disabilities often use the postal vote system. There is, of course, the issue that I cannot get access to the wonderful new Braille templates in order to do my voting at home because the government, as usual, responded to a Supreme Court challenge to the provision of voting rights by only providing accessible for the blind voting facilities in public polling booths, completely ignoring the fact that when you have a disability that means you're on the postal vote, your home is your polling booth. So I didn't do that when the ballot paper arrived today because it's going to take energy and time for my PA to sit there, read through all of the candidates' names and parties and details, me to make notes of that, work out how I'm going to vote, and then keep my fingers crossed as I fill in the ballot paper, hoping that I've put the right number beside the right person. So it's lottery time again. Anyway, that's all for this evening. Thanks to everybody for all the messages of support. Please, please, please keep on pushing. Like I say, I'm going to be voting this weekend, so the election will be over for me, but not for a lot of you. So keep on pushing the issue with any candidates that you're interacting with. Good night.